Hi there, welcome to the channel. I've been using Aftershoot since the early days, but if I'm honest, I've really only been using it for culling. Recently, I realized the software has had a big glow up and now it does editing, retouching, and now it even has galleries. So today I'm going to take one of my recent portrait shoots and see whether Aftershoot can handle more of my workflow than I thought in the past. Okay, so here we are inside of Aftershoot. You've got culling, you've got editing, you've got retouching, and you've also got galleries that is now available. Import, super easy. You click on import and you create an album. You just drop the folder in and it's super, super quick. It really is. It's not like having to wait, half an hour for the images to load up. From here, you go into your albums and you've got culling, editing, retouch. So the culling part is the bit that I have been doing. It will go through and you can ask it to group things together. You can ask it to put similar images together. You can get it to unclick stuff with blurs, closed eyes, any of that. And you can go through and do the culling. So it really is super easy to do a culling. Now, I've already culled this one, but I can cull it again. It has come through, it has selected images that are 5-star. It's also given me some highlight images that I might like to have a look at. I can then come in, you've got different views. So there's survey mode, there is loop view and grid view. So you can go through and it will bunch them up together. So for instance, this one, there's 2 images that are fairly similar. This one, there's 3 images that are fairly similar, and it gives you what it thinks is the best image from there. If you want to change them out, you just, for instance, this one, if I want to make that a 4, and I want to make this one a 5, you just press 4 and 5. It's really super easy. So even though it's using AI to go through and cull the images, it lets you have final say on what images you want. This one, for instance, the face is a little blurry and it gives you a preview too. So that's really cool. So you go, yep, okay, that one's blurry. So it's not good at all. Don't know what I did there. But anyway, and it gives you the best option out of that group or the best options out of those groups. So that is fabulous and I use it all the time. It's why I put Aftershoot into my workflow is I love the speed of culling. Now I know that there's culling in Lightroom, but trust me, it's not on the same level as Aftershoot. From here, we can then come and have a look at the edit feature. Okay, so let's just pick one image and go in and do the edit. Now, you're going to notice pretty much everything that you see. There are some presets. So you can create a preset, you can import presets and you can go buy them from Marketplace or whatever, or you can just come in and edit. So there's white balance as you would expect. I did find that it's a bit touchy. So even if it doesn't take much to sort of go, oh, hang on, that's too far. So leave it as set. Same again with that. Custom white balance, leave it as shot, or you can play around with it. It's all the normal stuff that you would expect. So exposure, contrast, etc. Your presence panel's got texture, clarity, dehaze. There is curves panel coming soon. It's not available yet. You've got your HSL, so you've got hue, saturation, luminance, etc. You've got color grading in there. Blending, balance, there's effects, so vignette, grain, sharpening, detail, noise reduction, which is kind of almost like the old school luminance that you had in Lightroom. You've got all your different things in there. So going through and editing, and it will batch edit. So if you put in, now I think the orange is just a little over the top, so I'm just gonna, I've changed that to hue. If you double click them, they will reset. So I'm just going to pull the saturation down on the orange a little bit. I don't want to boost the texture or the clarity, anything like that. Whites, I can probably boost the whites a little bit, bring the shadows up, etc. Nothing else I really want to do at this particular point in time. You have got your different sliders, you've got your crop, you can come in and you can change your grids, 4 to 3. You can move it, you can stretch it, you can do pretty much whatever you need to do in there. It's not exactly how I edited the original or the final images, but it's a lot closer than I sort of expected. It's just a few tweaks, really. So I want to head into the retouch section, which they classify as their gold star section. So you've got different patch tools that you can use. I'm not really thrilled with the object removal, to be honest. I mean, it's not bad for some stuff, but other stuff, it just doesn't do a good enough job. There's also on some of the images where I need to crop in or add some of the background. There's really nothing there for that. So I found that the object removal really wasn't quite as fast or as quick as I would like. Gives you your capture info. And then if we go into the subject, so it's not really, I have a feminine subject and it's picked up her face. I can come through and I can remove some of the acne, some blemishes. There's really no freckles. There's really not much in the way of wrinkles. There's a few smile lines, so I might want to siphon them up. I can't see teeth. Face in hands, so I could brighten it a little bit. Smoothen. I'm not quite sure. Smoothing. Smoothen her features doesn't quite work to me in my mind. But anyway, remove shine. That's pretty good actually, but you do need to be a little bit careful with it because it can actually flatten. If I was to take all the shine off, it actually flattens her face right off. So we do want a little bit there. It's got glass glare. I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm not sure. You've got eyes brighten. You can remove the bags. Now, let's have a look at flyaways. This is actually really, really good. So if it's just going through and doing a little bit of everything. So it gives you some really great details with the flyaways. So that's something that is pretty cool. There's also body smoothen. I still think that word is just so wrong. Body smoothing, maybe, which isn't bad. It's not brilliant. There is blemish removal again, which is okay. The cloth de-wrinkle. Now, I actually thought that this was fabulous. I loved that. It just took out some of the marks in her clothes, and I thought it was fabulous. So that's actually pretty good. I wouldn't say that this is Photoshop unemployed just yet. I think there is still a little way to go, but I think it was actually pretty damn good. So where does Aftershoot fall short? The dirty backdrop, it doesn't quite pick up and clean up all of that. The marks on the floor, where the backdrop missed in certain images. So if I was to come here, I could crop it, but I couldn't remove. So if I was to come and it's just not doing a great job. Again, if I was to I had my hairstylist come in and step in, was trying to help me out with this image. I also really can't get rid of her. The marks on the floor, the scuff boots, removing objects, Aftershoot just falls short on doing those. So these are things that I would still have to take into Photoshop to fix. So I guess that's where Photoshop is still going to earn its keep. Then there are the galleries that Aftershoot promises that are about to launch like really soon, if not already. I'm still trying to figure out how that's going to work into my workflow, but I can definitely see the appeal for people. But for me, I think I still need to cull, do a basic edit, maybe do a retouch, and then go into Photoshop. But I still love using Photoshop for cleanups, removing distractions, and fixing backdrops and things like that. When it comes to retouch, I think I still actually prefer to use Skylum's Apathy and use that in my workflow. But it's still early days and I'm still playing around with it. So what's great about Aftershoot? So the culling feature is definitely good. The editing feature is, yeah, you could edit in this or you could edit in Camera Raw or Lightroom or whatever. They're all fairly similar. It doesn't matter. But going from import to cull to edit and you're not jumping in and out of programs, then that's a win. The retouch, some things are great, some things are not. The flyaway hairs and the clothing de-wrinkle are fabulous. I reckon the clothing de-wrinkle would also work really well on backdrops. What doesn't Aftershoot do terribly well? Well, removing distractions, fixing backdrops, removing, any marks or things that need to be touched up. That's where it's still falling short. Jumping from here into the galleries, I still think there's a step missing where the retouching could be a little better and the fixing up distractions. So even if you could go from here into Photoshop and then back and then you could export it, then that could work quite well. But for me, I'm not getting rid of Aftershoot. I can tell you that right now. I have been using the import and culling features for years, since day dot, and I have always loved it. It learns as you go, so the more you use it, the better it gets. The AI in that is fabulous, and look, I don't completely trust the AI to pick all the best photos, but it does narrow down the time I spend searching. So I'm not spending hours going through going, this image or this image or this image. So cutting that down is amazing. The edit, yes, I could do the edit and then jump into Photoshop for other bits and pieces, but I would have to export the images out and do it that way. So I think for me, it's probably the culling and then loading those images up into Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever, and then exporting from there. But it is interesting to see how the guys at Aftershoot have given this software a real glow up. If you were a newborn shooter or a wedding photographer or events or anything like that, where you're not really doing the high-end retouching that you are for beauty portraits or things like that, I can really see the benefit. You've got one program that does the import, the cull, the edit, and you can batch edit everything from within one folder. Retouching, you can retouch everything within that folder. You can use presets that you have bought or you have created so that you have a look right across all of your images. I think it is absolutely fabulous for that. But for beauty portraits, which is probably more along the lines of what I'm doing, I think that the retouching is still needs a little bit of tweaking, and definitely the distraction and the removal tools need to have a final tweak as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have you tried Aftershoot? I would love to know your opinions. Put your comments down below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let's get a conversation started. So that's it. I will see you next time on YouTube. Bye.